What's up? It's IronDrone.com. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the FlySky FS-T6 flight controller and receiver. These two do come as a package deal whenever you do purchase it. So overall the controller is very sturdy, steady. I do like it. The only downside is that it doesn't beep whenever you're running out of juice on your quadcopter. And there are only 6 channels on here, so that can limit you to possibly different things that you want to do on your quadcopter. Overall, you do have your throttle up, your rudders, your elevators, your ailerons, trim buttons here, 4 of them there. You do have 6 different buttons up here at the top that you can flip and switch. So you only have 6 channels, so 4 of them are going to be eaten up by your controls, so that only leaves you with the ability to be able to use 2 of these up here. On the back of it, it does have a bind plug, so that way you can bind, or a bind key and a bind plug that comes with it, so that way you can bind this to, let's say, different quadcopters that you own, as long as you have another receiver, so that way you don't have to go out and buy another transmitter. It does have a trainer port right there, so then that way you can train it. It does take 8 AA batteries, so it is a kind of a battery hog as far as batteries go. There is a plug here to where you should be able to charge some rechargeable or a battery pack if you do purchase it for it. But you know, overall pretty basic. This is not spring loaded for the throttle, so you do have to adjust that quite consistently, especially on one of the quadcopters that I fly. In order to turn this thing on, actually you have to have all of your sticks down, so then that way when you switch the power on, you do not get a warning sign. If I do have one of the switches up, it will not let me take off or turn on, because that could cause your quadcopter to fly back at you and possibly hit you in the face or mess you up. So you do have some menu options in here. You can go over here to the system. If I go through system, I can select the models. There's up to 20 different models that you can have. You can rename the model. You can select the model type. I just have fixed pitched as far as my helicopter goes here, because I'm using this for a quadcopter. You can copy models. You can reset the models. You can go into trainer mode. You can go into student mode, where you hook up a cord here to a different controller. You can go into the stick mode, so you can change from mode 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have it on 2 because that's what I'm used to flying here in the US. LCD brightness, and then you can do some firmware and a factory reset. On your settings, you can reverse different channels on your receiver, so that way in case your ailerons or elevators are backwards on your flight controller, whenever you do your receiver test, you can go through here and actually change those out. You can go in and you can look at the display of each channel, tell you which one is which. Make sure you have your modes right. So 3 is your throttle, you know, your ailerons, number 1, elevators, rudder, and then your stabilizing mode there. You can choose what your auxiliary channels are, which is nice. So I can set my channel 5 to this switch up here, which is SWD, or I could switch it to any of the 6 that are up here, and I can get a use of the 6th channel. But again, I only do have 6 channels, so I can only pick one additional knob or switch up here in order to set it. You can also go in here and you can select the throttle curve. So if you want a bigger throttle punch down lower, that might be helpful if you're flying a heavier quadcopter. And then you can go in here and you can actually go in and change your throttle hold. It's not advised to do this because depending on which switch is hooked up to this, if it's in the auto leveling and you do hit that, it's going to throw the throttle to 50% when you're in self-leveling, and you need the self-leveling to fly some of these you know, 450s or 550s that you build, because they're a little unstable. So you definitely want to leave that off, from my experience, because I did flip the switch one time and had the quadcopter fly directly back at me. So there are a lot of functions in here on this controller. Not a bad buy. You know, like I was saying, probably you're gonna pay about 60 bucks for this flight controller. There are possibly some better ones out there on the market. This is the receiver that comes with it. You have your antenna here, then you have your channels 1 through 6 plus a battery. There's 3 pins that go across. The right side is your negative polarity, your positive is in the middle, and then on the left side you do have your signal wire there. So like I was saying, overall good buy, very solid, good quality, no issues to complain of. Doesn't really switch on and off in your bag if you're carrying it, or you know, carrying it around like some of the other controllers are. Very sensitive to turn on, and then you know, you drain your battery, you don't even get to fly. But I would definitely recommend this if you're starting out. If you don't want to get into anything with a bunch of different channels on there, if you don't need, let's say, GPS or you know, return to home or anything like that, then this one would probably suit you just fine. So if this video helped you out in any way, definitely give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos.